good thing.
Donald Trump still surging in the Republican presidential race with a 10-point lead in the latest poll out of Quinnipiac. This after reports suggesting that Republican establishment in Washington is now in panic mode. Really? Alan Colmes, host of the Alan Colmes radio show, Fox News contributor Brad Blakeman, Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush. Gentlemen, good day to you. Let's go back to the numbers, guys. 27 on Trump, Rubio, Carson, Cruz, 17, 16, 16. Bush at 5%. Alan, is Republican establishment panicking over the possibility of a Trump nomination?
It seems like it. That's what the press has been saying. It looks like, you've got John Kasich with the PAC now going after him. But a lot of the other candidates, I think, are afraid to attack him because they like to mop up his supporters once he eventually implodes. Maybe if he insults a few more groups of people, his numbers will keep rising and he'll really get the nomination.
Brad, Quinnipiac in their write-up today called Trump made of Kevlar. Because he's withstanding any criticism that comes his way. With regard to the panic, is it true or not, Brad?
No, I don't think Republicans are freaking out. We're going to let this thing play out. And I'm not too concerned with national polls. I am concerned with battleground state polls like Iowa and New Hampshire. And the good news is there is a horse race in those states, and there's going to be a horse race in South Carolina and Nevada as we move past those. So,
I think that's a great point. I think you're exactly right about that. But just come back to this poll, because in the Quinnipiac poll, among those who would definitely not vote for Donald Trump, Brad, he's at 26%. What's that tell you?
Look, in a national election, going head-to-head, Republican and Democrat, if Trump were the nominee, we would have a rough time. The good news is Hillary Clinton has a huge cloud over her of an FBI investigation that has to play out as well. So there's a lot of twists and turns in this election to take place, and it's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be understanding where this election is going to go when people actually have to go in and vote.
As that plays out, I think that's another good point. Now, Alan addressed this. The two frontrunners, on the Republican side is Trump, Democratic side Hillary Clinton. Look what this poll found about who they don't trust and who they don't think is honest. Trump's at 59 to 35. Hillary Clinton is even worse at 60-36.
Well, I guess that means
those are our options.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I think Hillary is the likely nominee. I don't think Trump is, and I think the Republican Party is freaking out because they know that if he were to be the nominee, that a lot of people, even if they had to put clothespins on their nose, would vote for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump, particularly independent voters and those who are undecided. They're not going to vote for Trump. His numbers are soft because, as other people get out of the race, he's not likely to attract more of those points, and they're likely to go to other more likely nominees than Donald Trump.
Brad, do you have an explanation for those who are not honest or trustworthy?
Well, look, both Trump and Hillary have absolutely historically disastrous numbers on trust and likability. And guess what? You have to like somebody and trust somebody before they ever get your vote. So I'm confident that the Republicans are going to nominate somebody who's going to be able to take on Hillary in trust and likability. And guess what? They're going to win on policy. So I'm not concerned at all. We're not freaking out. There isn't panic in the streets. We're going to let this thing play out.
All right, you heard it right there. Presidential matchup, head-to-head. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. In this poll, at least, anyway, Hillary Clinton beats him, Brad.
Yeah. Well, again, there's the bad news for Republicans that if, in fact, Donald Trump was the nominee, even with Hillary's negatives, we are still likely to lose. And that is not a very good scenario. And I think Republicans will come to realize that when they have to vote in the primaries.
I just heard Alan say that ain't going to happen.
I don't think it's going to be a Trump versus Hillary. By the way, Hillary, unlike Trump, does have policy. She does stand for certain things, whether you like them or not. Trump's policies change based upon the beginning of the sentence doesn't always match the end of the sentence with him. So if you're talking about
Alan,
policy,
I think 3 weeks ago we were looking at another national poll showed Hillary Clinton getting beat by everyone. I think the only Republican candidate she was tied with was Carly Fiorina. Everybody else beat her head-to-head.
These polls are pretty fungible right now, which is why I don't think Trump is the nominee, simply in spite of the numbers he may now be getting. These polls are very, very variable and change very quickly.
Brad?
Well, you have to be selected before you're elected. It makes no sense to select somebody who's unelectable. Republicans will get that. And again, as the system plays out, and by the way, it's not the national polls that matter. It's being able to get the organization and the grassroots motivated in those states, which is something insiders have an edge on other than outsiders.
Well, and you got to worry about Trump possibly running as an independent if he doesn't get treated the way he wants to be treated by the Republican Party.
You think
he's got an easy out. Could happen.
Brad, do you?
Sure, I think Trump would do whatever is in his what he perceives to be his best interest. If he thinks he can mess things up, if he can't get it, I don't put anything past him.
Selected before elected. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Brad Blakeman, Alan Combs there. Appreciate the discussion today. 12 minutes now.